Yes! Hey up, mid ducks. I'm Aaron reporting for CoasterGen, and welcome to episode 8 of Dark Ride Ducks Quack. We've had a bit of a break, but I've been ruminating a lot, and I've just got back yesterday from experiencing the curse at Alton Manor. Full warning, there are spoilers ahead, more spoilers than you could ever know what to do with. More spoilers than a spoiled meat teaspoon. This is my house. So, where do we start with the curse at Alton Manor? Well, as you go up to the facade, and if you've been through it, you'll know this. You'll see the queue line, all the smoke rising in the queue line, the blue lights, and the new gravestones. You'll see that first, then you come down to the gates, and you'll see Alton Manor with the gates all hanging off their hinges. And I love this because there's signs on them and will harken back to previous people who've been involved with creative art towers, rides, and that kind of thing. And you'll see the facade, which they've done such a good job with. It looks a lot darker than it used to look back in the old Jewel, even the haunted house days. They've renamed the shop to the Attic of Antiquities, and then the actual what used to be the Nitro Genie shop is now reopened and actually sells some pretty cool stuff. They've got like these really cool special cakes and cupcakes which are themed, actual themed food at Alton Towers, by the way, and ice creams and freak shakes and that kind of thing, which are themed to a little bit spookiness and that kind of thing. And I love the queue line. So, and the entrance of the queue line, they've put the old canopy, what used to be in the crypt, outside the facade. And then you walk around the queue line, and they've got some cracking headstones and gravestones and things. Again, there's little Easter eggs of previous rides and that kind of thing. You'll see them here, ha, ha. And my favourite is the duck one. Just here, look at this. Beautiful, right? But you get to the front of the queue and you go into the facade, into the first bit, which is very similar to how it used to be. There's just a couple of extra bits on the table. Do look at them as you go through. You go into the pre-show room, and oh my goodness, it starts here. The floor is vibrating. It's a chill in the air. You see a doll's house, and it tells you the story, the backstory of this whole attraction, which you can pick up in the queue line with the 4 plaques, what are that? And then everything goes cursed. It just goes and goes evil, and then you go on to the unload platform in the station, get on the ride vehicles, which are very similar to how they used to be for Jewel, but a lot more comfortable. I don't know what's done to them, seem comfortable, and it's a lot smoother. Oh my goodness. And then as you start your journey into the story of the curse and Emily Alton, you see things go from bad to worse. It kind of plays out in horror detail what happened that night with Emily, how there was a party downstairs and Emily was told to go to the attic, be gone, and then she basically killed the poor Snowy the cat and then started this curse, and everyone died, but she's not dead, she's cursed apparently, and all these ghostly and spookiness are doomed to stay in the Alton Manor for all time. But you see it as you go along, and it's really cool. That first room one of the first rooms where you see all the guests, which are now skeletons, and their chest is pumping and the heart's going, and that's just so good. And then you see Emily Alton at the end, where you see similar scene to what happened in the doll's house when the curse hit, and then you're whizzed round. and into the rest of the ride. The trommel tunnel's phenomenal. I can never remember it being that good during the haunted house days, but it was really, really cool. You thought you did think that the track was moving and the whole room was moving. It was just ridiculous, that thing. I loved it. And I won't spoil all of it because I know I'm going into great detail, but there's several scenes, some very, very good in my opinion. Of course, again, I haven't said this yet, but do let me know what you think in the comments. Your thoughts and opinions. I really do want to have a conversation about this. But yes, there's a few practical effects, quite a few, which I love, mixed in with the more modern projection mapping, and things like that, and the more modern aspects, which are cool. Lots of smells, which are very nice. Lighting's just perfect. Now, there's one area which I know a lot of people may be saying is just too dark and they don't know what's going on, and it looks a bit sparse. But I don't think they get the story, because I think this part of the story, Emily Alton's going, let's play hide and seek in a little freaky way, and the big shadow goes up, and then you go into this fast-paced darkness where you're going round, and you can hear her say things in the dark. Then you get around to the perfect family scene, and Emily Alton goes, "Got you," with a big hand. So obviously we were hiding in that game of hide and seek, and I think it works really well, to be fair. I just don't. So keep that in mind. This is a very, very much story-led, haunted, dark ride house thing. And you've got to pay attention to that story. But it does lay it out for you quite thick in the queue line, in the pre-show, as you're going around to pick up. But I just made sure I listened a bit, as well as go, oh my god, that's amazing. I'm not going screaming and everything like that. That's cool. That was Jewel, because Jewel didn't really have that much of an ongoing storyline. It was just scare. It was really good. But this is story-led, and I'd say pay attention to that story. You'd have such a better experience. My favourite bit is actually this. If you know what I mean, you know what I mean, eh? That's the that's the best bit in my opinion. That, and there's another bit which I love with another practical effect of Emily swinging. Have a look at that on your way around. And the projection mapping's really good. Even I believe the clock at the very end is projection mapping, which I swear it is. Or some people don't believe me, or don't believe me, or don't agree with me, should I say? Because I don't know. It might not be for all I've kept. I know, but it looks very much like projection mapping, but it's done very, very well. And that kind of, it's just so detailed. There's Easter eggs everywhere throughout that ride. I love it, and I will keep going back. We rode it 6 times yesterday, and I'm hopefully get on it a lot more. Thank you very much for leaving that and listening to me just waffle and be a weirdo online. I love it. Please, let's have a conversation about dark rides. Thank you very much. Bye. This is my house, and I don't give a damn for all your parties. Just take me for who I am. This is me, Cursed Emily. I killed Snowy, and this is my house. Would you like to come play with me? This is me, Cursed Emily. I snapped Snowy.